Welcome to Robyn's Roost. I'm Robyn Rassett, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Minnesota. So today I have part 2 of the Summer Splash card kit series. So Summer Splash was a card kit program that I was doing with 2 other demonstrators. So we had 3 different stamp sets that we highlighted. Each one of us did one. And you could order the kits with three cards for each stamp set. So 9 cards in total if you wanted the whole thing. So if you bought it, you've got your pieces already. If not, I'll give the measurements so you can create your own cards. So let's just go ahead and flip the camera and I'll show you what I came up with for the Charming Duck Pond. Card 2 is actually a rocker card. Aren't these fun? So when they sit up, I'm not sure, they can rock. So we need to start with a base that is 6 by 6. And you can see that I've just, I scored it in half at 3 inches, folded it, and then die cut it with the second largest deckled circles dies. So we're going to be using a couple of these dies for this one. You could use any circle die. And I think I did write the measurements down if you don't have the deckled circles. It is 5 3/8, the one that I used. So it's the second largest one for the base, and then you're going to be using the 4th largest one to do the designer series paper. So you need 2 of those. Or of course, if you have your kit, you get this all cut for you. So then there's a piece of designer series paper that's cut with the 4th largest die. And this one, when you start out, is 2.5 by 5. And that'll give you the right size to make your layer. And then you also need one for the inside. So this one is actually a little bit bigger. Let me find the 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that way it'll fit all the way up to the fold. So that will just, let's go ahead and just put this in here right away. So I'll show you. See, that will fit right up to the fold on your card. So that's the inside of our card. And let's go ahead and layer this one as well. Ooh, that's pretty paper too. That's always the hard part about designer series paper. It's pretty on both sides, right? That way you got to make 2 cards so you can see what it looks like on each side. Then we need our label, our greeting die, and you could use any oval, but this one I happen to use, let me pull it out here to show you. I used one from the Unbounded Love. The stamp set is all greetings, and then the dies are all these beautiful labels. So I've used this label. Just showing you that. You could use any oval or circle if you wanted to. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. Then let's talk about this die. This one actually cuts out the circle and you use the negative part. So it's kind of a little bit different than most dies. But what I've done is I've cut just a partial piece high enough to reach to here, right? And I'm going to use the edges of this. So let's take this side. And what I'm going to do is I want this to go on here as a decoration. So I'm going to put it there, flip it over, take a pen or a pencil, and then mark this, and then I'm going to take my scissors and cut it. Now there are also, let me pull in these dies, the rest of them. We've seen this one, and on my last video for this series, I forgot to show you the dies. But here are the dies that go with the Charming Duck Pond, so you can cut out your ducks. There's also a builder die, so you can build a totally different duck. You've got the lily pads, but you've also got these cattails. So if you didn't want to cut this big one, you could also do build cattail with the dies as well. Actually, let's put this away so I don't lose it. Okay, so let's get our cutting done here. So then that'll fit on here. I've got my my greeting, and I chose the "Have a Lovely Day." And I'm just going to pull in some pretty peacock. It's a nice dark color. And let's see, I'm going to set this back on here where I wanted it. It is a little tight with the greeting, but we can get her in there. There. And that's the only stamping that I'm doing on this card. So now let's talk about the ducks that I'm going to put on here. So I have a couple of choices. So I've actually, here's a piece of the designer series paper. This is what the back looks like. Sometimes I find it easier to find the papers when I look at the backs. So I've fussy cut out this little girl here who's going to be swimming with her babies. And then I'm just showing you, if you want to, you can stamp your duck from the stamps and color it. Now he's colored with Stampin' Blend markers. I've given a little bit of blue, and then the peacock, and I did use a white paint pen to give his little white collar. But for this card, I am going to use just pieces of the designer series paper that I've cut out. So I want him to look like he is swimming. So we wouldn't see his feet if he's swimming. So we're just going to take and cut those feet off. So that makes him swimming in the water, just like her. We're going to have our greeting up here. This is like really simple. Once you have all the pieces assembled, it's just putting it together. Trying to remember which bumps you had this on. Let's see. Okay, and then here's the way that I put my ducks on. I'm just going to show you this. Let's see, maybe I need, I'm not sure if I can use the big dots. I wanted the ducks to look like they were in the water. So I put, let me get some smaller ones. So I put dimensionals on the top of the duck, and then I put liquid glue along the bottom. So it looks like their bottoms are in the water, but they're above the water, just to give it a little bit more of a 3D look. You might have to hold on to it a bit for the liquid glue to adhere. Give it a good press. Okay, so now when we put the greeting on, we want to have an envelope here. So we just need the envelope so that we don't get it too high up. And I think we have plenty of room on this card. Sometimes when you do rocker cards, they're a little bit higher, I think, or you have something higher. This isn't too bad, but you don't want it over the edge, right? So you could put it about there. And I'm just going to, usually I like to put the adhesive on this side, but For this one, I'm going to put it on here. And then there is our rocker card. Thanks for stopping by at the Roost. If this is your second card in our series, be sure to stop by for the third one, or you can check back and catch the first one too if you haven't watched that. Have a great day.